Hello and welcome back to Tammy's Dolls. Now I'm just trying to get you centered here. We're going to do a little bit of an update on this doll and where I am at. Okay, so we're restoring a Baby Bubbles from 1924. Beautiful doll. One of my favorites of my dolls. I have a few questions here though that was given to me before we go further on this doll. Have I ever broken, this is by Moonbeam, have I ever broken a doll before? As I've been restoring a doll, yes, I've taken chunks out, which I'm like, you know, because you got to replace everything that you take out, which I've done even with this doll. I'm gonna come back to that, what I just said. Like, sometimes your knife might slip, and yeah, it happens. Things happen as you're restoring your doll, but you know, it is what it is, and you got to keep going. You know, you can't sit back and, you know, and boo-hoo about it too long. You got to deal with it and, you know, keep going with it. So I want to put a mark where I need to put this doll right about there. Okay, where the clothespin is. All right, keep you in the camera here. So anyways, I have broken a doll before. In restoration, I have. You just fix it. You got to deal with it. Do I restore for myself? Yes. Right now, that's what I'm doing. But do I want to branch out where I take on other dolls from other people? I might down the road. I'm not sure yet. I'm still perfecting this artwork, you know, of these old dolls. It's a lot to learn, and you know, between working and life in general and everything else, a lot of things can get in the way for me coming back to this and whatnot too. So it's a very slow process as I'm finding it to be, but I'm enjoying the journey though. And that's the thing you want. You want to enjoy this. You know, a hobby is to be enjoyed. And it is an art, and learning the twists and turns to a lot of to each doll, what it needs, and what this doll needs is not what the next doll's going to need. And I have some here that I've taken the composition off, and it's just beautiful. No repairs. If there's any repairs, it's on the top of the head, but a wig can cover it. You don't get too stressed over that type of stuff. But this doll here, she is going to, I don't want to say stress me. I don't want to say that because I'm not finding it stressful. She's just going to test my artistic skill and what I can do for her, you know, and I'm going to find out about Tammy again, you know, what I can do, you know, so, and that's the exciting part. I find that it intrigues me, you know, so that you want to put that pressure on yourself to say, can I make this doll back to the way it should be? That's what you're trying to do. And that intrigues me, trying to return her beauty back again. And it is there to be done. So do I restore dolls for other people as a custom? Not yet. But when I think of it, if I was to restore a doll, it would be more to how I restore. Not because the person said, like when I think of reborns, they say, I want the hair brown, I want it this. Well, that I can do. You know, I want blonde hair, I want brown hair, I want red hair. You know, we can do those things, you know. I won't do ridiculous dolls. Like, to me, ridiculous would be making a zombie out of these old dolls. And I've seen it done and my heart just breaks. I won't do that. Myself personally, I leave that up to the person. If you want that done, you do it yourself. No, I want these dolls to be, or I don't want them to be like scary, haunted looking dolls. There's a stigma about that already, that a lot of these dolls scare people already, and due to movies, which is fine. I mean, hey, I love watching I love to be thrilled in a movie where you watch something and it gives you a great thrill, and sometimes there's a doll involved, but we have to come back to reality of it. The doll is just a doll, you know. It's sawdust and glue. We grind this doll down, it goes right back to sawdust again, you know. So I try to keep it at that level even to myself. These are just dolls. I'm in a house full of them, so you know, you can go to that level where you think there's something in the doll, an entity or something. I don't go there with them, not at all. I see them just as the doll itself, like the day they made the doll, and that's it. I don't go no further with that thinking. But there are those I know who do, and they say, well, the doll's haunted and all this other stuff. I don't go into that. But, so that's why I don't paint dolls of that sort. I don't paint them to look like a zombie or, you know, or scary figure, you know, nothing like that. I'll do, if I was to, it's going to be a beautiful little baby, and it's got rosy cheeks, blonde hair, bright colored eyes. That's what I'm trying to do. So if I was to do a custom, it would have to stay in that realm, or you would have to take, if you really wanted something like that done, you'd have to find somebody who does that type of work. But I find it a shame on these old dolls that that's what I've seen done to them. And it disgusts me in some ways, because that's not who these dolls are, you know. But I know it's being done, but, you know. Now, Betty Boop asked me a question about yellow eyes. How do you take the yellow of the eyes? Now, you could try to paint the whites of the eye with the eyes still in the doll. If you got a good, steady hand, you could do that. I know I'm going to say something here, but you might have to take the head off to go. If it's a big doll that you can get up inside and pull those eyes out, you know, you can. You can put the eyes back in again if you really want to, you know, to paint them that way. You could, but you were saying you don't want to do that. You could, if you got a steady hand, you know, you could try painting those whites of the eyes just with a brush, you know, and a tiny little brush, and get in there and just paint, I guess. There is that, or you deal with the eyes just being yellow. I have a doll here that has yellow eyes, and I'm going to be restoring that one coming up. I want to get him restored, and he has yellow eyes. He has jaundiced looking eyes. So yes, that, you know, now him I want to totally restore. I might just be taking his eyes right out. You'll see as we go through this, you know. I like to take his eyes right out so I can work on them completely. Now this little girl's eyes, well, let's not go there just yet. We're going to show something today. Will I airbrush Bubbles here? I'll be hand painting her, but her hair will be airbrush. I have a different airbrush system. I'm going to try it out. And this might give me the training that I need. I am not good at airbrushing right now. Not to say I won't become better at it. I probably will. I just need more practice and more time on it, and I haven't had enough time to airbrush, and it is a skill. Again, another artistic skill. So again, I come back to, yeah, I would, down the road, would I love to airbrush the whole doll? Yes, I would love to. Right, but not on this doll today. I think just airbrushing her hair will be a feat unto itself. And I want to also say, and that question was from Angela Cash. She asked that, will I airbrush the doll? She said she's getting into airbrushing for her dolls. And I say, way to go, go. Practice first, though. And I also wanted to say to everybody, thank you for the words of encouragement that you've been giving to me as I've been restoring this doll. We can do it. And we want to make this fun. So let's proceed now with the doll itself. So here's my Bubbles, and what have I done? Well, you can see I've got the biggest amount of her paint off. A little bit here, a little bit on the nose still. I probably have, I call it the cleanup. Before you start to do anything more, what I start to do is I start going over the doll and taking off little flecks of paint here and there, and just little flecks with my knife. And you just scoop them off, doot, 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 you know, type of thing. And that's what you do. Now, before we go there on the doll, what I like to show you is that I took the doll because I want to take her eyes out, and I got her opened up. The dolls are put together from the back of the head to the front of the head. So I went around the seam, opened it up, and now our doll is in half. Okay, so there's our doll in half. This is the back of the doll, and now I can work with this half. She was partially glued and plastered across, and now I can get into the back of her head. Here we see that she has her rocker eyes. There's her rocker of the eyes right there. And back behind is a piece of felt. That is to darken her mouth to look like she has depth into her mouth and a tongue. And that's where the teeth would have been connected to. So I wanted to do this on camera so that you saw me taking the eyes out. The eyes are like little prongs that go into the side of the head. For those that have never done this, they're like little prongs that go in this side of the head, and little prongs again that go into that side of the head. They build this side of the head, not in all dolls, but most dolls. You will see a little raised platform in here where those eyes have been stuck into on both sides. Sometimes not so much. It's because the composition is already thick enough that they can put them in. Now what we're going to do is we're going to take out our trusty little tools again, which you're going to use. and we're going to pull those eyes out. Now, you could go from needlepoint pliers. I didn't bring the right pliers. I got these right here. So what I'm going to do is pull these out. Now, I'm going to go get my needlepoint pliers because I like these, yes, but I also like my needle nose. And they're important to this step here. Here we go. All right, I got everything right near me anyway. So anyhow, let me make sure you're seeing what I'm seeing. Yes, you are. Okay, there we go. All right, so we're going to get in here. And we're going to go loosen one side first. Okay, and you don't. Now this is very thin and very. You want like a shock absorber. Where you're underneath your doll's face, because this doll has been bumped around a lot. You see here a lot of paint that's missing. Those are pressure points, actually, I think, where the doll has been, you know, okay, that was a sound effect, has been maybe dropped on the side. You know, things have happened where the paint, the compo became weak and maybe hit. I don't know, but this is what happens when you're taking paint off. And like I said, there are things underneath the doll, the paint, that you don't know about. So again, you want a towel or something there to help take. I don't have a lot of room to bend my hand. That's why little hands are nice for something like this. Some men might have a problem because they have bigger hands and harder to get in there to maneuver this. So we're going to try to get this out as best as we can. I'm not getting any movement whatsoever. I've taken eyes out before. I just don't want to put too much pressure on the doll. When you're trying not to put pressure on the doll. Ooh, these are in there good. There we go. Sorry about that. Can't get my hand to turn. I can see it's trying to come out. Trying. Now maybe this would be better. Maybe I can get better grip. Oh, those are in there. Woo! Are those in there? Okay. They're not budging. I want those eyes out. Okay. Okay, I might have to come back. I'm going to come back in a few minutes, and I'm going to show you another little trick that I might have to do with it. And one thing about it, when reattaching those eyes back in again, I Milli put them back in as well to give that nice stiffness back in there, because once you remove them, it kind of opens up those holes just a little bit. So be prepared that you have to put something like a putty around it just to hold them in place. That's what I use as Milli put. So, but anyways, we'll get back in a little bit. Hang in there. I'll be back.